Hey everyone, Paul here, Music Villa, Bozeman, Montana. Jared James Nichols here, and we're at the new garage here in Bozeman.
Yeah.
And we're having a good time.
We're having a blast.
So, right now, we want to look at the three Les Pauls. Right?
Oh baby. Oh baby.
We've got a custom, we've got a standard, and we've got an Epiphone.
Yes.
And we just want to kind of, I mean, they all have different pickups in them a little bit. They're all basically the same type of pickup, right?
Mm-hmm. There are variations on a PAF.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a PAF that you'd find in a late 50s
Totally.
Les Paul standard.
Yep.
Yes.
Totally. So, but we just want to hear, I want you to play them, and I just want to see, because everyone goes, wow, I can just buy this, blah, blah, blah. And why would you spend the money on, and there's multiple reasons why. First of all, you do want to have a nice guitar, but, people compare the $299 and they're so proud because they didn't buy the $5,000 whatever.
Sure.
Which is true. I get that logic, but at the same time, why would you want, the expensive custom shop one? Because they're so cool and the woods are old. I mean,
There's a certain mindset I feel like with all gear. If you are inspired to play, if something inspires you to play, whether that's an Epiphone or a Gibson custom shop, whatever, that if it speaks to you, it's good. It doesn't matter.
Totally.
But the things that we're talking about is, when you play these guitars, like in my hands right now, I'm holding this 59, right? This is a 59 standard.
Yep.
I can feel certain things when I pick this up that make me go, that you can't see, but I can feel where I go, ooh, this feels good.
Yep.
Things like when I touch my fingers on the frets, the way that it feels when I'm, pulling a string back and forth, or the way that it resonates, even if I just hit the open strings, the way that the body is vibrating,
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that these don't happen on every guitar, but it's just, it puts it in a different perspective. And with this, it's just, obviously it's gorgeous with the flame maple.
Weight maybe too.
The weight,
good.
the neck profile, and there's just things about it like that feel really great. And I love, and should I give it a little taste? So if we go like this. Yeah, it feels awesome, man. Feels awesome.
I like, so I just, as a drummer who works in a guitar store for many, many years, who wishes, that I could pull tone out of a guitar like you do, I love watching and explaining to people, because it's my biggest challenge as when someone comes in and they want to learn guitar and they're just like, well, I don't hear any difference in these controls. What does this do? And it's like, I always tell them, well, you actually may not hear any difference for a few years until you're at that level. So I just always appreciate, when you do that. You were basically, you go to that rhythm. It was nice and clean.
Yep, nice and clean, bell-like.
Yeah. Nothing unchanged on the amp, and you're just driving it, hitting it a little harder on the back pickup now. That's cool.
It's nice, man.
Now, let's just swap real quick.
Okay. Here's that. There we go. Now, this is one of the Epiphone inspired by customs.
Yep.
Yes. I've yet to actually see these.
Custom.
This is the first time I'm seeing one.
That's the 60s customs.
Watch your ears, watch your ears. All right. Yeah, this feels awesome.
And for the record, they have done an amazing job on these. These are USA pickups, the pots, so they've stepped up the level a lot.
It's fantastic.
Now, it's not your old, $299.
The price reflects
the price is a little higher, yes.
Yes.
But great looking guitars.
Now, this one to me, due to the knobs and me being a total nerd, it's this would be like a 60. Right, because it's got these top hats.
Yep, that is a 60.
Oh, this is a 60.
Yeah, it is a 60. Yep.
But I'm looking at it in my hands, and obviously, if you know me, I've been playing Epiphones for a decade now, and when I feel this, it feels really good. Like the neck feels really good. There's certain things that I can see right away that show me that it is the next step, but also it's still an Epiphone. the angle of the neck, the way that the neck is shaved, certain areas.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, let's see what it sounds like. You said it has Gibson USA.
Custom bucker.
Custom
Yep,
buckers.
yeah,
So here's that pickup. I like it.
Yep.
That sounds great to me. See what the neck pickup sounds like?
Yeah.
Feels awesome, man. Yeah, you can tell with this that, like you said, they've stepped up like crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so these guitars now, even a really low price guitar made overseas, nowadays years back they were bad.
Yes.
But now you can buy a $250 guitar, and it's a wonderful guitar, starter guitar.
Absolutely.
But what we're trying to look at is kind of like, you know, these iconic guitars versus an overseas made guitar. And you can, even though, you know, this would work, you could do a gig with it, no problem.
Absolutely.
But like you said, when you played the custom shop, there's a feel to it. There's even a smell to it.
There's
Like,
there's a
it's
certain
different.
it pushes it over the edge.
Yeah.
What do we have
it
here
does.
now?
Now this is a 60s standard.
Okay. Cool.
So that's your straight up, off the shelf.
Yeah, I love the neck, the way this neck feels right out the gate. And I actually saw this guitar before, so and I picked it up, and when we were jamming,
Yeah.
and immediately in my mind, I was like, ooh, this is a really nice Les Paul. Now, I want everyone to think about this too. As a player, we've talked about this before, you don't need the most expensive guitar to get amazing sounds or to be inspired. It's whatever works for you. And I really mean that as someone who's toured the world playing a $699 Epiphone all over the world, or played an original 50s gold top. So with this guitar, when I feel it, this is the standard. So this is kind of your middle, right? Feels great.
Yep.
Feels really good in the hands. Frets feel awesome. Let's hear what it sounds like. Yeah, man. They all have their own sound. I like that neck pickup on this one.
Yeah. Burst bucker, I believe.
Gorgeous.
So, and that's the thing. So you go in and you play a bunch of guitars, and you'll find the one that's got kind of the tone you're looking for.
I would suggest to anyone, if you can do it, like go to Music Villa, go to your local shop,
Yeah.
go to the store and play the guitar.
Yeah.
I always feel like if I ever get a guitar sight unseen, sometimes I make up in my head what I think it's going to sound like.
Yeah.
And then I get it, and it's not that it's a bad guitar, it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And that can be a letdown sometimes. So
Yeah.
what I like to do is I like to go to the shop,
Yeah.
pick them all up.
And I think for a lot of people, you know, I mean, there's a certain level of player where they can hear differences in every pickup and really hear it. But for a player like you, it would be like neck feel and stuff like that, and you're gonna really dissect the pickups. But most people, you know, I could send them any of these guitars, and they're not gonna hear a difference in the pickups.
It's true. And I think a lot of that, too, comes down to, like you said, years of playing and playing a ton of different ones.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people like to hear with their eyes and not their ears,
Yeah.
which sometimes can be a really bad thing, because I've had guitars even where they sounded great, and I went, yeah, but I kind of want to put these pickups in it or this.
Sure.
And you can actually work yourself out of a good tone.
Exactly.
So
exactly, there's a lot going on, and then you plug it into the amp. It's
what
amp's
amp?
different. Everything.
Absolutely.
Always different.
But I would say the one thing is, if it feels good in your hands,
Yeah.
and you have that connection, then you can figure out the rest.
Out of these three, I mean, you know, just not knowing, you know, I don't know, if you knew which one, if we blindfolded you, would you pick a certain one? Do you know? Could you tell me that?
The only way that I could potentially tell you that is the way that they feel under my fingers, as far as like the fretwork.
I gotcha.
So with Epiphones, since I've been playing them for so long, I know what those frets feel like
gotcha.
and where they go and where
I
they
gotcha.
bend.
Yeah.
Gibson Custom, it seems very tight, very just, and USA, that's maybe the only way I could really tell.
I gotcha.
Then I would start going like this and trying to feel,
Yeah.
okay, is that bridge the same,
Yeah.
you know?
But
that would be
tonally,
wild.
right out of the gate, all three of them tonally.
Tonally, I could work with any of
And
them.
they were all a little different, but they were all good.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
different, but all great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, these are great. These are the new, inspired by Gibson. Even the headstock, you know.
I'll tell you, if I had that guitar, you know, when Epiphone, when I was growing up, I mean, that
Yeah.
to me is an absolute monster
It
guitar.
is. It's a
Right.
great guitar. Great price point. They're cool. They're coming out with some great stuff. So that was it. Epiphone inspired by Les Paul Standard and then Custom Shop.
Yeah.
So 3 Les Pauls. Jared, thanks again, man. Thanks
Of course,
for being
brother.
here.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Cheers.